Nice. All right.
Hi.
Howdy.
So,
Hey, my firewall and network protection is apparently working.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll always practice safe broadcasting.
All right. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome, traders. We are back. Episode 15.
Ah.
Everything's late. Nobody dies.
Not. Can I just say one thing? We show everybody your shirt. This used to be just a regular Captain America shirt, and I got some acetate, and I just put. I'm sorry.
No,
I launched right into the tape gate, didn't I?
And don't worry about the extra holes that you got to put.
Yeah, and it's
Inside.
totally fine. It just loosens it up, just in case. We all need a little looser shirts as we get older.
Oh, that is the
The
truth.
extra holes in there. You got forearm holes now. I went right into tape gate, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
What a mess.
What a mess. Anyway, yeah, all right. Thinking of wrapping the store with acetate and saying it's my second location, and then I get to write it off because it doesn't make any money.
Hey, yeah. Then
It's
you
not
just
a bad idea.
peel back to acetate and
Say,
we're open.
Come on in. I assure you we're open. Oh my God! If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, then get on the internet.
Yeah, it's all over.
It's all over the place. And
It's funny. So I had Tony from EGS.
Mm-hmm.
He's the owner of EGS. I had him sit down. I don't know if you watched the interview that I did with him.
Mm-mm.
But I figured, let's get out in front of this and talk to somebody that actually does this for a living, the grading and all that. I don't care. Personally, my opinion is they took a book that they had. It's no different than you taking one of these, hundreds of thousands of books and doing whatever you want with them because of your books. And they just put an acetate wrap on it. I'm totally okay with that. But I think they misrepresented it.
They did. They definitely misrepresented it. I mean, whether it's legal or not, like in an the actual legality of it, I've heard a lot saying it's not. But I would be interested to see. The problem is with this is it's kind of breaking your contract with your. You have to do all the paperwork, all this contract stuff and everything every time you do a variant. Okay.
Right.
So, I'd be interested to know what was the original print run of that original variant, and have they adjusted that to reflect the fact that they took 750 and changed it?
Well, there's that too.
You know what I mean? I mean, if we've got a, a 3,000 print run variant, are they still 3,000 print run, or are they 2,250 print run now? And then we got another variant that's 750 print run, which is not really a variant. It's a modified book. I mean, I wouldn't really consider that a variant.
I think that is kind of really at the crux of what the issue is with this book. Is it's not a variant, because it cannot be a variant if you don't have a contract with Marvel saying that that's a variant. Now, that being said, we have precedent for this. You've got the angry ex-girlfriend variant. I don't know if you're familiar with this story. I can't remember the book. I think it was an Amazing Spider-Man 300. If I could be wrong, and I'm sure that somebody's going to correct me. But it was a big book. It was that caliber book. And the guy broke up with his girlfriend. So she took this book and she wrote, "You love this more than me," and just scribbled all over it, destroyed it. And he sent it into CGC, who then graded it, and on the label put "Angry Ex-Girlfriend Variant." And this thing's worth thousands of dollars. It's the only one in the entire world, and it's a tongue-in-cheek joke. But
that's not a variant. That's a damaged book.
Right.
I mean, and if we're going to start doing that, I can start marketing, there's an Amazing Spider-Man 23 that Bob Smith wrote his name on. It's a Bob Smith variant, one of one.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy spilled water on this book. It's a one of one water variant. It's a water cover variant. I mean, seriously, man, you can't just do that.
Right.
Variants are variants. They're not stuff that's been defaced. It's not stuff. I mean, you want to look at it that way? I get 10 different versions of every book from Diamond every week. I get 9 differently damaged, one-of-a-kind variants.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, come on, man. You can't do that. A
Right.
coverless variant. Okay, so I'm just going to strip the covers off and sell it as a 1 out of 1 coverless variant?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I could, but then what if somebody else does the same thing? Now it's 2 out of 2. I mean,
Right.
it's not a variant.
Right.
It's
Now, so
a
with
modified book.
with the angry ex-girlfriend variant, with that example, I mean, that's obviously a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody knows what it is. I think intent is important when we're talking about this kind of thing, because that's a joke, but what they did, what this company did by putting the acetate over the book, that was intentional. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew from the jump that wasn't a legit variant, and because it isn't their first,
Yeah.
and they knew from the jump that I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyway, so they
Making
knew,
everybody's brain just go,
Yeah. They knew from the beginning that it was not an official variant. I think because we're almost a week out now since the book first came out. I think what they did is they had a bunch of extra Ultimate Fallouts from their official variant.
And boy, could they not have picked, I'm sorry, a more ironically named book to do this to? Seriously?
Right.
Anyway, sorry. That's
Yeah, Fallout.
yeah, ultimate Fallout.
So, and I'm sure there's only 750. I got no reason not to believe them when they say they only did 750. But when you add to the book after the fact, that's no longer that variant, and it doesn't make it a new type of variant.
No, it doesn't.
And that being said, I mean, I think that they knew that it was at the very best shady, if not illegal, at least shady.
Yeah.
So they kind of deserve what's coming their way when it comes to that. But what makes it worse is CGC, with all the problems we've had with CGC over the last couple of years.
They just decided to add another one.
They doubled down on it.
They did.
And started giving us, fake news. they wanted us to believe. I mean, their press thing was there was a lot of speculation as to how the book was attached, or how the acetate was attached, and how that affects things.
Yeah.
Because it was a wrap that was added, and I don't think that's a married cover, because a married cover, at least in my opinion, is either a photocopy or a cover from another book completely that's been added. So it's the cover that belongs on the book. It just didn't originally come with that copy.
Sure.
To me, that's a married cover.
I was going to make a joke about that, but I'll make it to you a little bit later. I'm not going to do it on this.
Yeah, I need a married cover. She's not here today. But
No.
to me, it's an added cover.
Yeah, it's modified. It's a modified book.
Yeah, no way around it. CGC's take on it is the book was modified in the same way that Stray Dogs #1 was modified. Well, that's just a flat out lie.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
And they know that. Because that Stray Dogs #1 had the same front cover without the title.
Yeah.
And a blank back cover, and the dog's back on the back cover was printed on the acetate, and the words were printed on the acetate on the front. It had a different barcode. It had a different price.
Well, okay, can I just the thing that really nails this one home with me is that was done by the publisher. That was not done by a random store.
Right.
Now, I mean, what's to stop me? Again, like I was saying to you earlier, what's to stop me from going down to, Staples or Office Depot or Office Max or whatever, getting some acetate, cutting it, drawing something on it, handing it to you, and and saying, here, go attach this to 10 of my store variants.
Yeah.
And I would like you to do that. And we're going to say there's only 10 of these in existence, and we're going to send them into CGC. We're going to slab them, and we're going to sell them for a ton of money on eBay. Like, that's not okay.
It's really not. I mean, and again,
I mean, then it starts saying, but then you start looking at stuff. It's like, okay, what's a variant? I mean, is this that one little piece when the whole tower, the variant tower, is going to start falling over now?
There's been a lot of talk about that. There's been a lot of, big influencers out there, and I'm not going to get into the influencers in this book, but there's a lot of them out there that are saying this is it. This is, because you got half the people coming out saying this is legit. Well, that's the half the people that
the
own,
bottom and that are selling them.
Yeah, that own that. And then there's the other half of these.
That's the
big
store
people.
and the flippers. Yeah.
There's CBSI and Bronze Age and all these guys that are like, no, let's hold up a bit because that's not a legit variant.
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, are we now going to change our definition of variants? I mean, what do you do, man? I mean, it's like, what do you do? And it's like, yeah, I've got, the toe tag riot, okay, when Matt was here yesterday, Matt Miner, and he was signing, I've got a run of, 500 or whatever that we printed, okay? Did that with Black Mask. Had, I think it was Sean Van Gorman did a specific cover for us, and yeah, and probably half of those are out there signed by, Sean and Matt and whoever, you know what I mean? And so now do I say, do you keep track of the ones that are signed and you take them away from the print run? You say now there's a limited signed print run. It's the same thing. It's no different, really,
Right.
And because somebody else is modifying that book. Okay, so, right now I guess I could do some sort of a, I don't know, some sort of a census on it or something. You know what I mean? Say, hey, Matt, how many of these do you think you signed? Hey, Sean, how many do you think you signed? How many do you think they're out there together? And I can say, oh, well, the double signed ones, there's only 50 of those. That's a double signed variant.
Right.
The other, the single sign that Matt signed, there's 100 of them. Oh, well, Sean signed probably 100 of these things. So there's only 250 of those, but there's technically 4 store variants. No, there's not. There's 1.
Right.
There's not 4 variants. There's 1. And just because somebody did something else to it, it doesn't make it another variant.
Right.
And if so, what, and I wonder this, what would they think if you and I went in, okay, and we bought, let's say 100 copies of one of their variants, and then we did an acetate cover, we printed it on there and said, this is a limited to 100 variant.
Right.
Because it's no different. Okay, it was commissioned, it was paid for, we bought it, it's ours now. Right. Can we modify that and make it a different variant? And I don't swear a lot on this, but they would lose their shit.
Oh, yeah.
If we did that. We would be in court. Yeah. They would do everything they could to destroy us if we did that. And you know what? That's what they're doing, though.
Yeah, if you took...
To a Marvel book.
If you took 100 of these acetate variants that they created, bought them and paid for them, because their thing is, they're ours. We bought them.
Do whatever you want with them. Then.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm all for that. I'm a libertarian. You do you. I'm okay with that. So if I then buy 100 of your acetate variants, and then get my wife's heart-shaped hole punch and punch a hole right in the middle of that, now it's you have 750 in your run. I only have 100 of my heart punched acetate variant.
Right, yeah.
So mine should be worth more.
Yeah.
But I will guarantee if I send it into CGC,
they'd say there's a hole in this.
They'd say there's a hole in it.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't fault the influencers that are getting the heat right now. Jim Mint and Nerdy Girl and Tom. I don't fault them for doing what they do. That's what they do. They get perks for influencing and driving books, and that's what they do. And backroom deals have always been part of the comic business. You've been around. You've seen them. You've seen people that you've seen. Overstreet guide advisors get special under the table deals 30 years
never
ago.
have.
I mean, these things
30 years?
happen.
You mean 30 days ago? Are you kidding me?
This kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, it does.
But so I don't care about that part of it, and I don't even care. But the bigger, more important issue here is we no longer have any type of definition of what is and isn't a variant. Because of this, and there's no standard from CGC at least about how rules are going to be applied across the board.
Yeah,
because they're saying because the acetate was added by a publishing company, which is the comic shop's backroom.
Yeah, that's not a publishing company.
It's listed as Black something publishing, like a publishing company. So whatever. I have a publishing company. I've got the Rogue Trader Publishing Group. Like, I have a comic book publishing company. If we buy a bunch of acetate and draw on it with crayons and staple them to the cover of all of these, your long box of X-Men #1s from 1990, we got a gold mine, and they better be getting blue labels.
Yeah. So, is that what we're going to do now?
I don't see why not.
I mean, they've said, I'd really like, just on one book, I would love to try that. Just do an acetate cover on one of my variants.
Right.
And I mean, I would even like pay the $50 to send it into CGC and see what they do.
Just to see what they do?
Uh-huh.
I guarantee it gets a green label if they do it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if CGC were smart, they'd be like, we screwed up and turn them away.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that.
They would. And, they would say, these are not legitimately graded books. We made a mistake, and get rid of this, whatever the census is on it, just pretend like it doesn't exist again. Put out a formal statement saying if you buy one of these, it is not an official CGC graded book because of our mistake.
Right.
Yeah,
be like the 9.5s that they did.
Yeah. It's like, whoops. Yeah. Whoops. No. Then what do you do?
Kudos to CBCS. I mean, they and EGS both stood up to the plate and said that's not. That isn't how that they were produced. That isn't the contract that they signed with Marvel.
Yeah.
Those are not official variants. I don't think they're going to turn them away if they come to them, and they shouldn't. But they need to be qualified.
They need to be qualified.
I think that's what I got out of Tony. He said if anybody sent them into EGS, they would be noted as a qualifier.
You have to.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to.
Because it's an altered book.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's an altered book.
And I'm not above. I don't,
and it's not a 10 either. There's no way in hell they have any 10s.
I can see it.
There's no way.
I could see it. I mean, I've done enough of these. My issue with the 10 is I don't know what that book was before it was sent in, right? So if it was done on cardstock, like a nice cardstock, and they got a good quality book and had a good press on it before they put the acetate on, I can see it getting a 10. I can see it getting a 9.9. But I also know that Marvel Black, because that's the Marvel Black cover, I can guarantee you if we crack those cases and pull back that acetate, it's got all kinds of waves and ripples. And
yeah, it's not a 10.
Yeah, it's not a 10. But I mean, it is possible. I can get that stuff out in the press, so I'm sure other people can too.
But you know what? Then when you put staples in,
yeah, and
that's going to do something to that cover too.
So the Stray Dogs that they compared it to, I checked my copies, and they have extra staples. They have 4 staples in it, so that's legit. That's a legit thing. Coming, at least that part of it, but on this particular book, after the production run was done, that cover was added. So after the fact, 4 holes were put into the book.
Right.
Which makes that book a 7.5 no matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Should have been at very best a 7.5 green label.
Yeah, probably.
And to add insult to injury, now we're looking more into it. There's a young lady, Naj, from England, that has done a series of. She's a real big collector of CGC stuff. She loves her slabs, and she's really upset over this because it really devaluates her entire collection.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm never going to send anything to CGC again.
Yeah,
I'm not. I mean, I'll send in for clients, but I ain't none of my personal stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you weren't a collector.
I'm not a slab
collector anyway. But
yeah, I mean, it's not. But I have slowed down on the stuff that I'm sending in.
Yeah.
You know, because they're coming back weird.
Yeah. I mean, and
I'm getting a ton of 9s.
That's the worst thing, right? They're having all these problems to begin with, and now they're just willy-nilly giving out 10s to questionable books.
Yeah.
So it's hard to trust in that. But she looked into it further, and they've got, coming up at the Boston Comic Con, 3 more books. They've got a Deadpool book,
There's a Ghost Rider book.
Ghost Rider book, and a Venom book.
I haven't heard about the Venom one.
So I don't think they've really announced what it is. We've been trying to find what that 3rd book is, but we have found the other 2 on the census, looking into it. And it's funny because all of them have the exact same count.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying anything. I'm just asking the questions. I mean, it's suspicious.
It's very suspicious. I mean, you know, and I mean, I've known people that will bring a bunch of stuff into CGC. I was telling you about that customer the other day.
Yeah.
He'll bring a ton of stuff into CGC, you know, and he'll say, okay, here's 20 books. I need 10 9/8. I need like 110, you know, and the rest of them like 9/6 or, you know, whatever. Man. They do it.
Right.
You know, because he'll bring 20 books in, which is what, $1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've got so many feelings about this, man.
And the whole community does. I mean, everybody's got. People are pissed at the influencers. People are pissed at the company, CGC. I don't think. I mean, this is, to me, as bad as what drove PGX out of business. I mean, it's basically the same thing. You're selling grades.
Yeah.
They sold this company grades on a counterfeit book.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's funny. And then so like certain auction places say CBCS, CGC, no PGX.
Yeah.
You know, like nobody wants them.
Well, yeah, you can't. Once your integrity's gone,
then you're gone.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, right.
That's all you got.
And yeah, it's not good. It's not a good situation. And there, I'm interested to see. I mean, you know, I'm interested to see how it shakes out. But I think we've already seen it shake out. I don't think.
Yeah, that's about as far as it's going to go. Yeah. I mean, we've got this weekend to get through, and all that's going to be is them showing us what the standard's going to be moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be calling them something other than a variant.
Yeah, they're going to have to change their terminology at CGC.
Change the terminology.
But what does that mean for the ones that they've already done?
Yeah.
Are those illegitimate grades?
Yeah.
Are they illegitimate books?
Yeah,
Are they
you know,
illegitimate labels?
The people standing in line that were able to get them, at least half of those are going to CGC, and they're going to expect blue labels.
Right. Yeah. You know, and if they don't, then they're going to raise hell, and CGC is going to say, "Well, there's nothing we can do about it. They're modified and whatever. Give them green label." Then those people are going to stop using CGC.
Well, and that right there is exactly why CGC doubled down. That's why they say, because they know more of those books are coming their way.
Right.
And they're going to have to treat them the same way.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yep. Big old mess.
It's a problem.
Big old mess.
Anyway, Pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Ultimate Fallout 4. That's not.
All right, so they did it. Dynamite redeemed themselves. This is they bounced back from John Carter of Mars.
Oh,
James
okay.
Bond.
I thought you were going to say the new John Carter was great.
No.
Oh my God. Man.
Okay.
Okay.
James Bond 007. It's a great book.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Not a clue.
I don't know who that is.
But it is kind of an update on James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
It is very Ian Fleming without being datedly offensive, shall we say?
What do you mean? How?
It's very kind of gives you that espionage feel and doesn't offend you as a modern day person.
Yeah. Okay.
So I really like it. The artwork's great. The covers on this are good. I have noticed Dynamite's getting really addy in their books. They're putting a lot of ads, like every other page.
Yeah.
So that irritates me a little bit. And it's all in-house stuff. But other than that, story's solid. I think they've done a really good job making James Bond relevant again.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see where they're going with this one.
Wow.
Really dig this one.
Cool.
And the artwork looks like it was done by somebody over the age of 6. It is a bit monochromatic.
So 007 is not the age of the artist. It's the title of the book.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. All right, cool.
So yeah, my pick this week, definitely 007. I think They did a great job with it. I was really surprised that they had so many covers for this. I wonder if they're doing it just for the first book. I mean, Dynamite's the cover company.
No, Dynamite they'll do that for all of them.
But James Bond has only had like 2 or 3 covers, and this one had like 9.
Well, they sort of did. So the James Bond stuff, toward the end there, toward the end they were doing, and they do the regular cover and then they would do the incentive cover, basically, right?
Yeah.
But and what they did is they had FOC covers, they had FOC incentive covers, they had $50 Virgin covers.
Right.
They had all that stuff. And the reason you didn't see those is because I really liked James Bond. And those were mine. Besides that, though, I'm not going to put up a $50 Virgin cover for James Bond number 3. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sell it. There's no need. Now, I will say, after all the James Bond stuff, I started reading it when Warren Ellis was writing it, and that we had our cover for that, which was really cool. That thing Aaron Campbell did.
Okay.
And that was really, really cool. I really liked that. That was a great series. And I was like, oh, okay, this was cool, And then they did a couple one-shots. I was like, this is really good, Then they did another series, and I was like, okay, that's a lot. And then they just kept going and going and going. So when they kind of rebranded it as 007, I was like, okay, I'm good. So, if you're picking up where I left off, then awesome.
Yeah, I think they're kind of leaning into the fan theory about James Bond being different people with the same name.
Okay.
I think they're kind of leaning into that, and I like that.
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
I like that.
So Black Noir.
Yeah. This James Bond is kind of a Roger Moore-ish. I would say more of the Roger Moore type James
old
Bond.
And slow.
I like Roger. I think Roger Moore was.
Roger Moore.
He was one of the top 5 James Bonds.
Top 6. George Lazenby. You forget George Lazenby.
Yeah.
I think George Lazenby was a great James Bond, man.
He was perfect for that.
He was really good.
He really was.
Yeah. And I also really like Pierce Brosnan.
I like Pierce. I think Timothy Dalton was the best Bond.
Timothy Dalton was good. Yeah, he was good.
He was So I started reading James Bond in Playboy magazine when I was like 7 years old. My mom would read this.
That's what I did too, is read that.
And so I'm a huge fan of James Bond. I've read all the novels and all that. I think Timothy Dalton was the best. Like he felt the most like James Bond to me.
Okay.
From the novels.
All right.
In my opinion.
It's fair. I mean, I like Daniel Craig.
You know, I've only seen his first movie, Casino.
That was so good, man.
I own them all.
Spectre's not good. Spectre's not good. I haven't seen the latest one, but I think the first two were really great. But
I was really hoping they'd get Idris Elba.
He's so good, man. He's so awesome.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. I think that he's got that, like, he's got like that. Daniel Craig's got the kind of tough guy, rugged, good looks, but not really. He looks like a real person.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, Timothy Dalton does not look like a real person. They look like they went to an actor factory and said, okay, so we need this guy, we need to be this tall, we need these eyes, this hair. Oh, God, don't forget about the James Bond chin. Okay, now do that, and then put it in there, and then get him in a suit and get his ass to set. He doesn't even look like a real... And I loved him. I thought he was really great, and he's been good in everything I've ever seen him in. Right. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
But he looks like literally, and almost everybody else has looked like they went to central casting and said, James Bond, please. Where Daniel Craig looks like a real dude, and when he looks like a real person, I find myself identifying, and I feel like the stakes are a little higher when you don't look like a supermodel out there running around with a gun and going, "Gah!" It's just...
Well, Sean Connery, he wasn't the super attractive leading man type either. Like people...
Well, but then he was. I mean,
I think people think that of him, but I don't think he ever really was.
No, I mean, in those days, that was... If you walked in and said, I need a badass tough guy, they're going to give you him.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Now, granted, yes, when he was on the beach, he looked like a walking bear rug. He looked like, there was a lot of sod going on there, But it's just that's why I like Daniel Craig so much, though, because he just looks like a guy. He looks like a guy that could kick your ass, but he could also get hurt.
Right.
And again, not in old Roger Moore.
Well, and as James Bond, I think he took more of a beating than anybody else.
Definitely.
James Bond never, he could get jumped by 40 dudes and come out looking like
he'd come out and his hair was
GQ.
Yeah, he comes out, his hair is perfect, the suit's good, maybe a little dust right here, and he's got a little thing of blood coming right here, and he goes dun, 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 and then he gets on a parachute or something. I don't know, but but yeah, and I kind of like that about the Daniel Craig stuff, then, because he got his ass kicked, and that's, as you would, you know what I mean? It's more, it's like the stakes are higher with his movies, and I think a lot of that, is because of the old cheesy silliness of the Bond stuff and the that kind of situation, and they're trying to make it a little more realistic. Like, if this guy did get jumped by these dudes, he's gonna get punched a few times. But anyway,
I don't know if the stakes can get any higher than a laser pointed at your crotch. I'm just saying.
That's some pretty... I expect you to die.
It's funny that, I'm a huge... This is my Timothy Dalton tangent. I'm a huge Flash Gordon guy. That's obviously where I saw Timothy Dalton first. But my favorite Timothy Dalton role...
He was great as Ming Gordon.
Hands down, the best Timothy Dalton role was he played Rhett Butler in Scarlet.
Oh, wow.
He was phenomenal in that.
Come on, Hot Fuzz.
Phenomenal.
Hot Fuzz.
I've never seen Hot Fuzz.
What?
I've never seen... I've seen Shaun of the Dead. I haven't seen any of the rest of those movies.
Oh, man, you need to watch Hot Fuzz.
There's a couple different ones.
Yeah, there's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then End of the World. Those are the I think they call them the Coronado trilogy. Yeah. Oh God, they're great, man. They're so good.
Check that out.
Hot Fuzz is to 80s cop shows what Shaun of the Dead is to George Romero zombie movies.
Nice.
They even they watch Point Break together and are like, yeah, and it is absolutely hilarious, man.
Right.
And it's great. And Timothy Dalton is the he owns the grocery store, and he's like the center of business in the small town, and he's like, yes, of course. And oh my god, it's so good. It is so great.
Right
and
on.
so many people from Shaun of the Dead are in it, because they just recast everybody for those three movies essentially in different parts. But yeah, it's great. Timothy Dalton's so good in that.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, what you got?
I'm kind of done with the whole thing. I didn't pick anything this week. I hate comics now.
Comics suck. Heard it from Greg, local comic shop owner.
Oh, kiss my acetate. my acetate. There you go. Right there. Deadliest Bouquet. Did you read this?
I have not read this one. I even forgot to pick it up. I'm gonna have to
okay, so here, there's one right there. Right. Mine are at home.
All
right. So first off, Erica Schultz, really, really, really cool. Really cool person. She's super nice. Very down to earth. Really good writer. She's done some editing. She's done some writing. She's done some. Actually, she's done some Dynamite stuff. But mostly more indie. Publishers, not really too much Marvel or DC or anything like that. Maybe here and there, but Deadliest Bouquet is. I can't believe that it took me this long to realize what they were doing. I felt so incredibly stupid. It's so it takes place in what is it? Les Tres Fleurs, flower shop. Okay. And there's a murder, and there are three daughters. There's Poppy, Rose, and I can't remember the other's name. I'm like halfway through the book, I was like, oh, they're named after flowers. I go, all right. Oh, there's three of them. Oh, Tres Fleurs is three flowers, and that's who they named it. Oh, the name of the book is Deadliest Bouquet. God, I'm an idiot. I'm so stupid. It's like, oh, they're okay. Never mind. Oh man, so it's a murder mystery, and it's kind of it's about a couple daughters that are kind of split from the family a little bit. There's a lot of family drama going on with it, but we're also trying to figure out what the deal is. Do you watch Only Murders in the Building?
No, I haven't started that one yet.
You'd love it. It's so good, man. Really funny, really good. It's sort of like, it's sort of almost like that, really. It's got kind of that same vibe, and when there is like the family stuff that's going on, you know what I mean? There's all that stuff. And then there's a murder, trying to figure out who that is. There's the estranged family portion. It's just super good. It's really good. And I can't wait till the second one comes out.
Right on. I'll have to give that a shot.
Yeah.
All right. So, Deadliest Bouquet, 007, a couple great books. I was going to give an honorable mention to something this week. I can't remember what it was. And there were a couple. There hasn't been a lot the last couple of weeks, but what has been out has
been quality. Good. Yeah, it's been good stuff.
I mean, of course, 8 Billion Genies.
Yeah,
always good.
Yeah.
That one's always good.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that series. Is it going to be?
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, is it going to be animated? Is it going to be live action? Like, what are they going to do, man?
Huh.
Is it going to be a movie?
It's going to be rotoscope.
Is it going to... I had one of those when I turned 50.
A rotoscope?
I had to. They said.
Nice. And it was voiced by Mark Hamill.
And he sang the Monkeys theme to me. Yeah. Here we come. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to be really interested to see how they do that. I don't even know if it's a movie, if it's a series. I think it's a series, but is it like a limited series? Is it like one season? Are they going to do, like how are they going to put this? It baffles me to try and figure out how they're going to put that on the screen.
I don't know. I think with as popular as this has gotten, that they're going to try to expand this into, like, what is this run? Eight books?
It's 8 issues.
So we'll probably have a second series, another 6 issues. And
I mean, maybe, but typically Charles and Ryan don't do that. They just do their thing and say, okay, we're good.
yeah.
I mean, with the only thing that maybe they did a little bit more with, and that was actually Ryan, not Charles, was God Hates Astronauts. The curse words, and they were like, this is where we're starting, this is where we're ending.
Right.
I mean, they usually, Charles has a pretty good idea of where to stop with it. He always comes up with great endings, like at the end of that Daredevil volume. Fantastic. It was so good.
It'll be interesting to see.
I want to know where this goes. I'm excited.
The possibilities of this one are endless. I mean, you got 8 billion of the damn things.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
they could be telling stories for the next 20 years.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I would like to see each episode maybe concentrate on one person. With the overarching bar setting,
right?
And then and kind of like somebody would be like, "Oh my God, man! I wish that I could be, faster than anybody when I run." And they come in and all their skin's gone because they run so fast. You know what I mean? And they're in the bar and they're like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!" And they end up in the bar, right. Where the neutral zone, right? You know what I mean? And it's kind of, I'd like to see like weird stuff like that happening now, and then like maybe at the end they can be like, oh, we figured out how to stop these, or we figured out what to do, we figured out how to set it back, we've whatever that leads into season 2, and then maybe that's like the big, they expand on it, like we've got to get the genies and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that,
right?
I'm available.
Yeah. All right.
Anyhow,
really cool stuff. Looking forward to it.
I'll be having some acetate variants of 8 Billion Genies number 1 pretty soon, just so you know.
Nice.
That I can get in touch with them and ask if you want. They've been here at the store, so.
All right. So that is it for the week. I hope you got something out of that. That was a long rant, actually.
That was a really long rant, but you know what? And there's a lot of sides, and there's a lot of things to look at.
Yeah.
There's, it's like, remember when David Letterman used to drop watermelons off the top of the CBS building?
Yeah.
Or it was NBC, I guess, back then.
Yeah.
And he used to drop that watermelon, and it would just go, bam, like that, and you'd be like, okay, that is one huge thing that happened, and then all those pieces of the watermelon just went all over the place. This is Ultimate Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And when it hit the C2E2 convention floor, it went.
Well, it was a perfect storm because you had the company making this thing, releasing it at a convention, which even 5 years ago would not have been this big of a deal. But then you threw CGC into the mix, and then on top of that, all the Whatnot sellers selling the book the same day they got it. Like 5 minutes later, they buy it at this booth, go over to that booth, and sell it.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like it just amplified everything.
Yeah. I mean, so then like everybody on the floor probably had a couple of them by that point.
Yeah.
And God knows how much they were.
Yeah.
And
then everybody rushed the dealer's booth, and for their last 100 of them or so that they had, they said you can, in order to buy one of these, you have to buy another one of our exclusives first. I forgot about that part. Like it just, and the more you look into it, the worse it gets. I mean, it's a mess. Anyway, we probably will be talking about it next week too.
Probably will, depending on what shakes out next time.
Right.
Who knows?
So make sure to tune in Wednesdays. We come to you live from right here at Black Hat Comics, where we've almost got all the books up on the shelves most of the time because they finally came in that day.
Oh, God.
You can see Greg in all his glory running around throwing books up on the
Well,
wall.
you can't see me in all my glory. Not. I don't think the internet could handle that.
So we do that every Wednesday, New Comic Book Day Live. And then, of course, every Monday we do this show. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking, your take on all this, and we can address those comments as well. And make sure to hit the notification button, ring the bell.
Ring the bells, but not when I'm in my full glory.
No. Don't ring his bells in his glory.
No, don't do that. Oh, this is a totally unsolicited shout out, but Matt Miskell at Look got another one of these guys for me. He's done work on he did your wife's tattoos,
my wife's
done
tattoos.
pretty much all of mine. Dude is awesome. So if you notice a different thing there, that's because of Matt.
He's
Way to go.
pretty awesome. He does
he's
great work.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right. Till next time, traders.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.